Undefeated Brooklynite, undefeated featherweight contender Bruce Shushu Carrington fighting back home in New York. September 27th on ESPN, fighting the number 3 ranked featherweight in the world by the WBC. Bruce is number two with the WBO, and also number 1 with the WBA. So what's going on, Bruce?
Man, we're just locked in and ready to go for September 27th. Training camp has been great. I'm feeling real strong. Endurance is there. I'm ready to fight now. Obviously, September 27th is the only thing that's holding us back from getting that on right now. But yeah, man, I'm super excited for this opportunity. We got a great fighter ahead of us, a tough test. This is a great step up for me, and I'm ready to show all of the doubters and naysayers that I am who I say I am.
Everyone loves using that word diabolical now. I thought that smile when talking about how excited you are to let your hands go in a fight was a little diabolical, man. You know,
Yeah, man, it's a little diabolical, man. But I just have a thing to where I just I get a boost of energy when I break a guy's will. You know what I'm saying? When I do that, when I break a guy's will and everything, and really take him out of his game, there's nothing more satisfying than that.
well, I definitely want to get into the fight with Suleiman Sagawa, who upset Ruben Villa. But before we get into that, there's been some big moves going on in your division at 126. Venado Lopez
Mhm.
loses his title to Angelo Leo. I believe that you were sparring with Venado in the lead up to that fight, right?
Not this particular camp,
Okay.
no. But I have done plenty of rounds with Renato. I've sparred Angelo Leo as well too.
Okay. Were you surprised at that outcome?
No, I wasn't. I actually was telling a lot of people if Venado isn't working on his endurance and if Angelo Leo doesn't get confused too late into the fight with Venato's style, it'll be a long night for Venado. And that's exactly what happened. I felt like Angelo Leo, his style, in terms of the way how, he sometimes just catches and shoots and then makes certain things uncomfortable in terms of smothering you. I knew that was going to be a problem for Venado Lopez because Venado sometimes, with his awkward style, he can sometimes get nonchalant and lazy with his inside work, and then you could be able to catch with certain shots. What I was surprised with how the fight ended, I did not expect that. Like everybody was surprised with that, but with how the fight was going and how close it was throughout, I was not surprised by that. I knew it was gonna be a close fight. Even Mark Kriegel, I was on the phone with him tonight, right before the fight started, and I was telling him like, man, this is gonna be a tough fight for Fernando, and he needs to bite down to be able to, keep that belt.
Think even Angelo was a little surprised at not winning, but the knockout, to
Yeah,
your point, you know.
yeah.
So I didn't know you had sparred him. It's interesting. You guys are both gentlemen outside the ring and
Mhm.
warriors inside the ring. Do you feel like you know how a fight would go with Angelo based off the rounds you've done with him already?
100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm familiar with it. We haven't sparred in some, like, I would say a year and a half, maybe 2 years. But from the things that I've saw in the Venado fight, there's certain things that I still see that he's done from that time that I've sparred him. So yeah, I know how it would go. It would be a great fight. It'll be action packed. It'll be something that you would not want to miss. And that's something that I'm actually looking forward to, being that he has the belt now.
What could you share about why you would win the fight?
I would just say I have more in my arsenal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I have more in my bag and I have more in my arsenal. And in terms of you know, my IQ. Yeah. It's those things. Like I'm just more of a slicker fighter. And that I think that's right there is what's gonna set me apart from all of my counterparts, all of my opponents and everything like that. That's why I'm confident in knowing I'm gonna take over the featherweight division one day or another.
Your fight, the business at hand for you in New York, fighting Suleiman Sagawa. Now, I understand, people might look at Suleiman Sagawa's record and not be impressed,
Mhm,
but he did get this fight because of a big upset against
mhm.
Ruben Villa. He is top 3 with the WBC. But what do you say, Shu, to fellow, world champions, fellow fighters, media, whomever, fans saying, we want to see you fight at 27 years old, showing these not. We want to see you fight even better competition. What do you think about all that, Bruce?
Man, I will, to be honest, like this is the even better competition. Like if you know your stuff and not be a casual fan and just like looking at things, and if you really know your stuff and do your research, you'll see that this guy is a tough guy. He beat a top competitor in Ruben Villa. He beat a top contender in Ruben Villa, man. He took that WBC silver title from him in impressive fashion. Like he outboxed him, out powered him, outmanned him, and it was very impressive to watch. That's kind of one of the things that impressed me and made me want to fight Sagawa, man. And also for me to have the opportunity to show that I'm levels above, people that are in my weight division. I am who I say I am, and people misconstrue my confidence for cockiness at times. Like I'm respectful, you know what I'm saying? And I have a certain level of humbleness, but at the same time, I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. And I'm just telling you what's gonna happen before it happens because I'm so sure about what it is. I work on it over and over. I dream about it. I meditate on it. There's nothing that I don't believe. Like everything that I believe that's gonna happen is gonna happen. And it has been every single time like that I step in the ring. I have these interviews. I'll tell a person like, listen, I'm gonna do this, that, and the third, and it happens when every single time I say it happens. So it's just more so of a belief of, that I have in myself. And again, I'm just gonna just show everyone that I am who I say I am, and shut all my naysayers down.
I love it. Well, tell me what's going to happen in this fight then.
Oh, it's gonna be a shutout. I'm gonna make this fight look easier than people expect it to be because I know some people is like, since they saw the Ruben Villa fight, they think that it's going to be a hard fight for me. And I do believe that Sagawa is going to show me something, you know, interesting in terms of his will and stuff like that. Like that's something that is very interesting that's going to make the fight, last longer than maybe some other fights that I've had. But I'm going to make it look easy. I promise you. I'm gonna outbox him. I'm gonna shut him down. I'm gonna break his will, and I may even make him quit. But what I do promise is a crowd pleasing performance, and I promise that each and every single time I step in the ring.
Should you win the fight, then are you thinking of fighting Robezi since you're 1-2 for the WBC and WBO, or not trying to hear that? You want to fight for a belt?
I'm gonna fight anybody. I want to fight anybody, bro. Like it names whatever Robezi, I'll fight him as well too. But I am focused on the belts for sure. Like I can even fight Robezi after I get the belt. It doesn't matter. Like whatever gets me the respect that I deserve, I'm gonna fight him.
What do you think? Maybe even you could share because I know fighters, man. You guys aren't just out in the cold. Sometimes maybe right, but sometimes you guys got to be knowing more than just the next man about what's going on, what's being plotted. What are you feeling and hearing is the most realistic path to the world title? Is it WBA Nick Ball because you're number one, or is it the BC with Ray Vargas because you're number two, or is it Espinoza, the tall champ, for the
To be
WBA?
honest, if I'm gonna be frank with you, to be honest, it really is up in the air for me
Uh-huh.
right now.
No, I
Yeah,
believe it.
there's
Yeah.
no direction as of right now it's really up in the air. So, yeah, I'm just excited. I'm just excited for any fight. I've thought about each and every opponent. I've focused on a game plan for each and every one of those guys. And when it's time to step in the ring with them, I'll be ready.
Let me last time we talked about Shakur's fight, and you were actually very complimentary about him. You showed him a lot of respect. But you did say you expected a bit more in the
Mhm.
Artem fight. He didn't seem to take it well. Things went back and forth. But did you feel like there's a lot of respect there, and he kind of misinterpreted your honesty and overlooked a lot of the good things you said about him? Or
Um, I feel like what it was, to be honest, like how social media they'll clip certain things in the interview and not show the whole interview.
yeah,
Like he saw a clip of the interview and it made what I said look. I wouldn't even say it looked bad, but made it look controversial, I guess, at best. Um, and I think that probably like ticked him off or whatever. But to be honest, at the end of the day, I have my opinion, and that's something that we've gone over. You know what I mean? That's something that like I don't really care to talk about anymore
yeah.
because we've talked about it. We deaded the whole situation. And but maybe it was like a I do believe he misconstrued what I said in an interview because he only saw that one clip. So, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and just lastly on that, he's fighting Joe Cordina, who I see
Mhm.
you fought him as an amateur.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you think that goes between Cordina and Shakur?
That's gonna be a great fight, an entertaining fight. But I do see Shakur Stevenson getting the victory just based off of his IQ and his yeah, just his what he brings to the ring, what he his mannerisms he brings to the ring, his patience, even his offense. Is going to be very interesting to watch the fight. Joe Cordina is a great fighter, but he is coming off a big loss.
Right.
So he may not be the same fighter that he would have been if he wasn't the if he didn't have that loss in his record, and if he didn't lose the way he lost his last fight. You know what I'm saying? So it does something to the mind, and that is gonna unfortunately give people something to say in terms of discrediting Shakur if he was to win this fight. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that's unfortunate. Like I hate when fighters are put in situations when they're fighting a good fighter, but just the fight before or two fights before, oh, they lost this, they got knocked out, or they, you know what I'm saying? That puts a big, asterisk on their win. But I, but either or, I do feel like before the loss, after the loss, I do feel like Joe Cordino would still come up short just because of the type of fighter of that Shakur is. Stylistically, I think Shakur will get the dub.
For anyone paying attention, we get glimpses of Bruce, the commentator, in the future. We jump. It's mostly talking to Bruce, the fighter, but we do get Bruce, the commentator. I notice kind of peek out sometimes. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm a student of the game, man, and I do film study on like plenty of fighters, bro. You know what I mean? So I don't just sit home and just be on my phone all day. Like I watch a lot of boxing, and I study a lot of people that I can potentially fight down the future, people that I am just very interested in watching, people that I fought before, like little things like that. So yeah.